Hello everyone and happy Friday. Before we share my analysis from these last few days, please remember that neither I nor the SIMETRI team from Crypto Briefing are licensed financial advisors. What we provide is not a personalised investment advice, it is merely our opinions based on our various research and diligence. As always, do your own research before making any decisions about buying or selling crypto.
If we have a look at the key technicals behind Bitcoin at the moment, so the key level to watch is 18,500, as I mentioned earlier, with the liquidation levels. That's really the point of no return if we break underneath there. I think the monthly pivot point for me comes in at around 24,000. So if we were to move there, I think there's a lot of decisions that the market's going to be making, and that's either a breakout point or a big reversal point for the market. The current weekly pivot point comes in at around 20,550. If we start to hold above there on a daily basis, I think it would be very difficult for the market to decline, and we probably head towards that monthly pivot point. At the moment, the key upside targets for the market are 21,600 and 23,000. It's still quite premature to be talking about a move towards 24,000 when the market is generally struggling above 20,000. Overall, daily price closes below 18,500 should be taken as a very, very negative signal. But at the moment, the 19,000 level is holding as a base of support. Okay, so let's have a look at Bitcoin on the charts, and we can see a few interesting things here. So there's no real action going above the 200-week moving average. So the recovery is probably not going to kick in quickly until we get above 22.3. If that happens, the other key point to note is that the weekly RSI is extremely oversold. Hasn't been this oversold in many years. So it's just starting to turn up again now, and that could generate some momentum. And if we were to get above that 200-week moving average, I think the market could really start to surge higher. This chart here is the hash ribbons indicator. So this was giving a strong sell signal, but it actually flipped into positive yesterday, and it's just flipped back into selling. So this is kind of saying that this indicator, after many months, moved into sell mode, but the sell pressure from miners has just started to slow a little bit, and it's still quite indecisive. So the fact that miners aren't selling at the moment and they're waiting for the next move in the market is pretty much summing up what's going on with the entire market, is that people just aren't sure. There could be a rebound, or there couldn't be a rebound, but at the moment everybody's in limbo waiting to see what happens between 18.5 and 26 really. And in terms of why the market could break out sharply, you can see this is a 4-hour indicator here, and we can see the Ichimoku indicator. So we haven't seen a move above the cloud since 40,000. So now we've obviously had that drop down, and now we're consolidating almost above the cloud. So the market hasn't been able to make any steam above there. If it does start to make some steam above the cloud, I think we could see a big move easily towards 24,000 and that 200 period moving average, which the market hasn't been able to get above. So watch out for more price strength above 20,000 as a sign that we could probably start to push towards 24,000. The Bollinger Band indicators are starting to narrow on the daily time frame. That's indicating that an explosive move is probably coming next. And in terms of explosive moves, we all know what's been happening lately. So this is kind of a history of what's been happening once we've been getting the consolidation, down move, consolidation, down move. So if we break the theme of this pennant here, and we start to move to the upside, then we can probably see quite an explosive move. But we do know that the trend is almost certainly down. And until we start to make some big traction above maybe 22,000, something like that, then we're going to assume that the next move is down. But the risk reward for a big bounce back towards 27,000 or even 24,000 is quite high, based on the fact that we are very oversold in this market at the moment. So overall, hoping for a move back towards the 24,000 area. A breakout is definitely looming in the market. We've just got to be patient. Bitcoin is definitely technically challenged below its 200-week moving average. Miners are still onshore, and that's pretty much a theme of the entire market. A break of the wedge that I've just showed you, or also the Ichimoku cloud, is going to be significant. So we're pretty much on pending status until we see a break of the wedge or the Ichimoku cloud. Okay, so let's have a look at Litecoin. So Litecoin has been having some really interesting whale activity over the last few weeks. We've been seeing lots of spikes in whale activity. And I think with Litecoin, we need to start from the beginning, really, in terms of understand what it's going to do and what it could do next. So this pattern I've been watching for a long time. It looked like a very, very bullish pattern, almost similar to Bitcoin a few years ago, in that it could explode higher in this cup and handle type pattern. But the fundamentals have been so bad for Litecoin that it's broken the other way. And it's probably caught a lot of people out who are expecting it to kind of rebound from that 150 area and start to move this pattern higher. Now, it's getting into the danger zone where this can probably drop quite a lot, and it's underneath its 200-week moving average. But Litecoin's got a strange behavior in that it tends to follow Bitcoin quite closely. So if Bitcoin can recover, we're probably going to see a move back towards the 200-week moving average at some point, and that would mark more than a 50% gain from current levels. If we have a look at the breakout point for Bitcoin in 2020, we're trading under there, so that's a bearish sign. So maybe if we were to turn higher, we could test this initial breakout zone for Litecoin around 70. That seems like a more realistic target for now, especially bearing in mind the fundamentals. Anybody that was hoping that this wedge pattern was going to play out was disappointed because it's just dropped underneath the wedge. So maybe we could even return there to maybe $80 or $90 if the market does start to move higher. Something else to note is that we've got this falling wedge type pattern, so that's pretty bullish. And if we can start to get above there and Bitcoin starts to head higher, I think there's a strong chance that the Litecoin can rebound. Also, similar to Bitcoin, have a look at the RSI on the weekly. It's extremely oversold, so I think that's another reason why Litecoin can pop higher. And this wedge pattern here, I do like it, and I think if it starts to hold above maybe 50, 53. There's definitely a chance that this can go to 80, but bear in mind what I'm saying about the poor fundamentals. There might be better coins to trade at the moment, but the pattern is certainly interesting, and the fact that it tracks Bitcoin higher, it could be a good one to play on the altcoin basis. So overall, over the last few months, Litecoin has got crushed. On-chain activity is interesting recently, but it's still very speculative because it's quite early. As I've just showed you, the falling wedge pattern, it should be watched closely in case we start to see some strength and a rebound in Bitcoin. It could certainly move Litecoin higher. Overall, Litecoin is also extremely oversold, and it's probably in a good buy zone between 40 and 50 US dollars if you think that Litecoin is going higher.
And thank you. I hope you found my thoughts helpful. If you'd like more, please click the subscribe button for Pro BTC Trader and join me every week on Wednesdays for our live trading war room and daily email updates.